Good morning and welcome to the International Conference on Media and Social Responsibility 2.0.
I would now like to call upon Dr.G.Vasanth, Head of the Department of Visual Communication, to deliver the welcome address.
Good morning, everybody. Respected dignitaries, esteemed guests, distinguished scholars, and dear participants. It is with immense pride and great enthusiasm that I extend a warm welcome to each one of you to the International Conference on Media and Social Responsibility. Today, we gather here to deliberate one of the most critical aspects of our times, the role of media in shaping society with responsibility and ethics. At the very outset, I express my profound gratitude to our esteemed chief guest, Mr. Prabhu Chawla, Indian journalist and editorial director, the New Indian Express, and the keynote speaker, Dr. Kristin Rudisill, Professor, Department of Popular Culture, Bowling Green State University, Ohio, whose presence adds a great value to this conference. Your insights and expertise will undoubtedly inspire meaningful discussions and thought-provoking exchanges that will illuminate the new perspectives in the field of media studies. I would like to welcome Professor S. Raghuram from University of Jaffna, who is amidst us today, Dr. Manjula Venkatraghavan, Mr. Venkatraghavan, and Ms. Dr. N.C. Krishnapriya, who have also joined us, and also the other faculty from other colleges who have come here and graced the occasion. I would like to welcome Shri Ashok Kumar Mundhra ji, Secretary D.G. Vaishnav College, the pillar of strength for me and our principal in charge today, Dr. S. Seshadrinathan. I would like to welcome all the resource people for gracing the occasion and for being a part of MSR 2.0. Media in all its forms holds the power to shape opinions, influence perceptions, and drive societal changes. As scholars, professionals, and future leaders, it is our collective responsibility to ensure that media serves as a beacon of truth, integrity, and social good. This conference aims to foster a deep understanding of media's impact and the responsibilities it entails. I encourage all participants to engage actively, exchange ideas, and collaborate in ways that will advance the discourse on ethical media practices. Let this gathering be a platform for innovation, inspiration, and impactful discussions that contribute to a more responsible media landscape. Once again, I extend my heartfelt welcome to each one of you. May this conference be a milestone in our shared journey towards a more ethical and conscientious media environment. Thank you, and wishing you all a fruitful and engaging conference ahead. Thank you so much.
It is an honor to gather here today to engage in this most important conversation of our time, as we find ourselves navigating an era where media is not only a reflection of our world but actively shapes public opinion, societal norms, and even policy. It has become more crucial than ever to uphold the highest standards of media ethics, ensure diverse representation, and promote media literacy. In fact, according to a 2023 report by Reuters Institute, nearly 3 out of 5 people across the globe feel that the news they encounter is often biased or misrepresented, leading to a growing distrust in media. Furthermore, the rise of AI tools that can create and disseminate content has raised concerns about ethical implications of automated media production. This conference is a crucial step in addressing these evolving challenges. As media professionals and consumers, we are all tasked with ensuring that information is presented with integrity, accuracy, and fairness. In an increasingly globalized world, the media plays a central role in reflecting the diversity of societies. Yet, studies consistently show that marginalized communities remain underrepresented in mainstream media. Artificial intelligence is reshaping not only how we consume content, but how it is created. From deepfakes to automated news writing, AI is revolutionizing media production at an alarming rate. Panel discussions will explore how AI is transforming journalism, content creation, and media ethics. Experts will also highlight the role of AI can play in curbing misinformation, identifying bias, and fostering more ethical practices in digital content. Over the course of our sessions, we will engage with experts who will guide us through discussions on ethics and standards of media, the importance of diversity and representation, and the profound impact of artificial intelligence on modern media practices. Thank you, and I look forward to a productive and insightful conference.
Now I would like to call upon Dr.G.Vasanth, our head of the department, to felicitate our principal in charge, Dr. S. Seshadrinathan, sir.
Dignitaries on the dais, off the dais, faculty members, research scholars, and my dear students. I am delighted to share that the much-awaited event, Media and Social Responsibility, is back with its second edition, organized by the Department of Viscom. The Department of Viscom is one of the most prestigious departments known for providing quality education and state-of-the-art infrastructure to nurture the future global leaders of the media industry. With experienced faculty members from both academia and the industry, the department offers a revised and updated curriculum tailored for the real world. We bridge the gap between academia and industry through value-added courses, industry collaborations, functional MOUs, field visits, skill-based training, and hands-on experience. Our students engage in live projects for government bodies, private organizations, and NGOs, gaining practical exposure. All of this is further strengthened by our state-of-art infrastructure, featuring 7 studios and labs, where students bring their creative visions to life. I am also proud to share that our alumni and current students continue to bring laurels to the department and institution as well, while demonstrating a strong sense of social responsibility. In today's fast-paced world, where digital content dominates and attention spans are shrinking, the role of Viscom professionals is more critical than ever. As media creators, students must ensure they deliver reliable, high-quality content that is true, responsible, and impactful. Media and Social Responsibility 2.0 will guide delegates and participants through a thought-provoking journey, encouraging them to reflect on the ethical role of media in shaping society. Looking forward to an insightful and engaging event. My hearty congratulations to the department for conducting this international conference. Thank you so much for the opportunity given.
Now I would like to call upon Dr.G.Vasanth, our head of the department, to felicitate our secretary, Shri Ashok Kumar Mundhra, sir.
I would now like to invite our secretary, Shri Ashok Mundhra, sir, to address the gathering.
Jai Shri Krishna, good morning. Dignitaries on and of the dais, my dear students, good morning. It is truly a privilege to stand before you and speak on a subject that is not just relevant but imperative in today's world: media and social responsibility. We live in an era which media is not just a tool but a force that shapes perspectives, influences decisions, and builds or breaks narratives. You, as the content creators, storytellers, and communicators of tomorrow, hold immense power in your hands. But with great power comes even greater responsibility. The question I place before you today are, how will you wield this power? In the race for likes, shares, and viral moments, let us not forget the essence of responsible media. Even post every video, every article you create has the ability to inspire or mislead, to unite or divide, to educate or manipulate. The choice is yours. As future industry leaders, you must uphold integrity, authenticity, and ethics in all that you produce. Fact check before you share. Be mindful of the impact your words can have. and most important, use media as a catalyst for positive transformation. History has shown us that media can spark revolutions, bring justice, and spread awareness. Let your content be the voice of change, the bridge between ignorance and enlightenment, and the mirror of truth that society needs. I urge each of you to become torchbearer of responsible media. Be creators who inspire, educate, and elevate society. Let your words and visuals not just trend but transcend. The future of media is not in algorithm or artificial intelligence. It is in you. Use it wisely, shape it ethically, and lead it responsibly. Thank you, and may you all rise in the harbings of meaningful media. Thank you.
I request our Secretary, Shri Ashok Kumar Mundhra sir, to felicitate our Chief Guest, Mr. Prabhu Chawla sir. I request our Principal Incharge to hand over our Tirupati Devasthanam book to our esteemed Chief Guest.
I request our Secretary, Shri Ashok Kumar Mundhra sir, to felicitate our keynote speaker, Dr. Kristin Rudisill ma'am. I request our Principal Incharge to hand over our Tirupati Devasthanam book to our esteemed keynote speaker. We now request the dignitaries to release the conference proceedings.
I would now like to call upon Dr. Kristin Rudisill ma'am to deliver the keynote address.
First, I wanted to thank Dr. Uma Vangal, who will be speaking later today, for recommending me, to Dr.G.Vasanth for inviting me, and Shri Ashok Kumar Mundhra and Dr. Santosh Babu and DG Vaishnav College for having me. It's an exciting conference, and I am looking forward. Sorry, this is going to be too close to looking forward to seeing all the panels today and learning more about some of these topics. Of the themes for the conference, my research and teaching is closest to media diversity and representation. So I've decided to share some research that I did on the Namaste India Festival in Tokyo and the cultural exchange that I witnessed when I talked to Japanese performers of Bollywood dance about their desire to perform authentically. So I'm arguing that there's multiple ways to claim and access authenticity as it relates to the performance of Bollywood dance. The Japanese Bollywood dancers have developed a discourse that references and weights criteria such as heritage, source material, training and discipline, in-country experience, affect, imitation, cultural proficiency, emotion, and engagement as they rank themselves in relation to other dancers. So Tokyo's Namaste India Festival started in 1993, inspired by the business sector right after India opened its economy. And it was celebrated for the 29th time in 2004. And let's see if I can. So this is some video I took at the festival, so you can kind of see a little bit of how big it is. The festival involves no one of Indian heritage in its planning, and there are very few adults of Indian heritage who perform at Namaste India. The community is well represented by child dancers, audience members, and vendors, and the festival attracts approximately 200,000 people over 2 days to watch a range of performances that mostly consist of Indian classical and Bollywood dance interspersed with traditional Japanese performances, such as taiko drumming and Ainu dance, as well as a few other demonstrations of Indian culture, such as music and yoga. They also patronize Indian food stalls and numerous clothing and craft booths. The main attraction, though, is the Japanese groups, mostly comprised of women from Tokyo in their 20s through 50s, who perform Bollywood dance. I was surprised to see the Japanese dancers focus so much on authenticity in their discussions of their performances. Why would they develop new hierarchies only to impose them on a dance that doesn't easily invite them? If the goal of the festival is to showcase cultural exchange between the two countries through displays of Japanese people honoring Indian people by learning their performance arts, then the logic becomes clear. The conflation of Indian culture with Bollywood dance leads to the dancers evaluating their performances based on how faithful they are to the original, an idea that took on a variety of different definitions in the discussions I had. Some measure by accuracy with which a group reproduces a scene from a film. Some relate authenticity to levels of, oh, sorry, that's just continuing to play, isn't it? Over and over. There's just some still photos of the performances at the festival. Others foreground cultural insiders involving Indian people in the creation of choreography, costumes, or other aspects of the performance. So I argue that these concerns have less to do with the aesthetics and techniques of the dance form itself, although they were expressed through it, and more to do with the respect the dancers wish to project for the culture and people of India, distinguishing them from the many examples of Western performances of Indian dance forms that disregard Indian culture and the creation of Orientalist and Indian-inspired choreographies. So having experienced that same pattern of Western adaptations of Japanese culture, contemporary Japanese dancers endeavor to model an inter-Asia cultural exchange that displays appreciation and respect. The disconnect is that the vehicle chosen for this is the commercial, hybrid, and global art form of Bollywood dance. This dance has been described by Karim Khubchandani as, quote, a pan-Indian yet still globally acceptable style, drawing widely from classical Indian forms of Bharatanatyam and Kathak, rural and folk styles such as Ras Leela and Bhangra, and Western popular styles including salsa, disco, hip-hop, and jazz. So these different forms are blended together into a recognizable Bollywood dance style that, while it doesn't require substantial training, does have a training regimen characterized by gurus, classes, and even exams. The filmy aesthetic has a theatricality about it that Khubchandani describes as in excess of the quotidian, read as vulgar, ornamental, and always already feminine. So to be authentically Bollywood is to exaggerate, to be too much, to embrace the fun, campy theatricality, excess, and glamour of the form. But I struggle with using the word authenticity to talk about Bollywood dance. First, because this style draws inspiration from an unlimited number of dance forms, geographies, cultures, and historical periods. And second, because it is by definition a commodity. It's a commercial, mass media entertainment genre. Its goals are to reach the widest number of viewers possible and to make money. So even though I argue here that the idea of authenticity runs counter to the heart of Bollywood dance, I found that because of the connections made between the dance form and Indian culture more broadly, Japanese Bollywood dancers remain attached to the idea, co-producing a hierarchy of groups that they rank on their self-developed scale. So in addition to thinking about cultural ethos, E. Patrick Johnson identified physical characteristics as a common criterion for authenticity. Monica Gandhi had never had a formal dance lesson, but she grew up in India, and she moved to Japan in the 1990s, and she watched the Japanese dancers at the Namaste India Festival every year. She felt affirmation and validation of personhood, history, culture, and spirituality, as Johnson described of black churchgoers in New Orleans watching a white Australian woman perform gospel music. But she still would cringe at what she discerned as inauthenticity in the performances, And she thought this was due to the lack of folk dance fundamentals, so she wanted to teach Japanese dancers to perform Indian culture more convincingly, and opened the Monica Bollywood Dance School in Tokyo in 2016 after nearly 20 years in Japan. Her website says that the goal is, quote, to share Indian Bollywood art and culture and create Indian cultural awareness among the Japanese and Indian community. But Indianness as nationality or ethnicity has never been a prerequisite for Bollywood dance. Bollywood has always included Anglo-Indian and non-Indian actresses and dancers in its films. No, wrong thing. From Fearless Nadia to Helen to Rachel Shelley. And non-Indian white women are regularly hired as backup dancers for Bollywood films and can even become members of the Cine Dancers Union. So if we negate the possibility of authentically performing a dance that is not from our own culture, we also negate the possibility of cultural exchange, which is the main goal of the Namaste India Festival. The emphasis on physical and sociocultural characteristics as signs of authenticity are meant to counter the use of external markers of identity that are frequently excerpted from their context and used to signify cultural identity in acts of cultural appropriation. Sangeeta Shrestova has talked about competing definitions of Bollywood dance that emerged from the live stage performances as opposed to the film dance performances, arguing that the popularity of Bollywood dance as live performance clearly identifies what is an authentic Bollywood dance movement. She makes it clear that people from a variety of ethnic, geographic, and cultural backgrounds can perform Bollywood dance, but it's unclear what an inauthentic movement would look like. The Bollywood dance community is as transnational as its choreography and its style. So I was able to attend the Namaste India Festival in 2016 and 2019. I watched rehearsals and interviewed participants, dancers, festival organizers, and audience members. I was impressed by the enthusiasm and investment of time and money that dancers pour into their performances. So they're in a place with very few Indians, right? Much discussion among the different dance groups, as I mentioned above, revolves around the problematic and contentious issue of authenticity. There's clearly value placed on cultural exchange by both the festival organizers and individual dancers, along with defensive arguments asserting that their group, unlike others in Japan, did not engage in surface or token appropriation of Indian dress or movement. So here I'm going to talk a little bit about what the authenticity means to the dancers that I spoke with. The dance is intricately connected to Indian culture, language, clothing, jewelry, movement, food, and film. And the significance of these markers is critical to Japanese participants and dancers as they construct their individual hierarchies and criteria and present their performances of Indian film dance at the festival. So the festival is economically and politically motivated. It's run by a nonprofit organization called the Society to Promote India-Japan Cultural Relations. It's also sponsored by the International Foundation for Arts and Culture, as well as a number of for-profit countries, including Air India, Sainon Company, Ambika Trading Company. You can see some of them here. The amateur performances happen to support the political economic agendas of both Japan and India as regards strengthening their relations. But these young Japanese women are not learning Bollywood dances primarily for that reason. Most of them started because it's global, fun, glamorous, and excellent exercise in a fitness-conscious world. It's also true, as Claire Croft reminds us, that diplomacy happens, quote, in physical interactions between people, that the governments involved cannot control. So the dancers I interviewed each had a different story about how they started, how their group formed, and the connections the dancers and teachers had to the subcontinent. So I'm going to talk about a few individual ones here. So this is Sahelia. They started in 2008. The manager, Steve, is an Indian who migrated from Australia to Japan 20 years ago. His Japanese wife, Yukari, is the principal dancer. And their claims to authenticity are based on his heritage connections, as well, even though the dancers are all American, are all Japanese with one American woman. as well as their travel to India and sustained associations with the Bollywood industry. So Steve and Yukari travel to Mumbai every year to work with Bollywood choreographers Sudha Chandran and Tejaswini Shetty and to source costumes and props for the group. Yukari teaches classes in Tokyo and trains the Sahalia performers in semi-classical, modern fusion, and dandiya dance. Like Monica Gandhi, Sahelia's leaders see semi-classical and folk dance as foundational for Bollywood and make sure their dancers are solidly trained in these forms to bring authenticity to their movements. And when they're ready, she teaches the dances choreographed specifically for them by real Bollywood choreographers in Mumbai, with whom the group has a sustained relationship. Their website says, "Our aim is to dance Bollywood, so it enables the exchange of cultures and serves as a bridge between Japan and India." So this is just a few seconds of their performance in 2016, and I'm sorry somebody stands in front of me. So stop there so you can see a little bit of that one. Also at the top of the hierarchy is the Foxy Steppers group, which has a very different model and claim to authenticity than Sahalia, though equally valid. Instead of the connection with real Bollywood choreographers, their claim to authenticity lies in the fact that most of the dancers in this group actually had the shared experience of living in North India and taking Bollywood dance classes from an instructor there. I was able to interview the instructor, who's pictured here, Victor Samson. He had traveled from India to perform with his students in the 2016 festival. In India, he runs dance studios in Delhi and Gurgaon. He also teaches Bollywood dance classes in Delhi at the Japanese school and the American Embassy School. He has more than 500 students there, nearly all of them foreigners. So most of the Japanese dancers that are part of Foxy Steppers in Tokyo are people whose jobs had them posted in Delhi for a time, and they took classes with Vikram there. One of the group members is an Indian who migrated to Japan. This group is predominantly male, unlike all the others at Namaste India, and better reflects the gender balance of Indian groups. They loved Bollywood dancing so much they didn't want to stop after leaving India and coming back to Tokyo, so they've kept it up on their own. Vikram will post videos for them to learn from and Zoom sometimes to help out with difficult moves. They'd been preparing for this particular dance for the 2016 festival all year and invited him to come and perform with them. So this group has a sustained connection to a dance studio and teacher in India. Nearly all the dancers spend extended time there learning with him and being immersed in Indian culture, which gives them credibility in Tokyo. Foxy Steppers, like Sahalia, talk a lot about making cultural connections and the importance of cultural exchange, and their respect for and appreciation of Indian culture is palpable in every aspect of their performance. And many of the dancers in this group have gotten interested in Bollywood film and culture through the dance and their time in India. There are many different avenues to authenticity, but my interviews revealed a clear bias against the groups Bindu and Sandosham. They were considered lower on the Japanese Bollywood hierarchy, even though their claims to authenticity through travel to India and sustained connections with the film industry would objectively appear just as valid as the groups discussed above. So they're separate groups who perform together at Namaste India due to the overlap between their members. So Bindu's claim to authenticity comes from sustained training with an assistant film choreographer from Chennai, from the Kollywood Tamil film industry, who was based in Tokyo for 5 years. And it's their affiliation with a regional language film industry rather than the dominant Bollywood one that devalues their work in the eyes of other groups. So after training with the Kollywood choreographer in Tokyo, Mikan, in the center here in pink, grew to love Tamil films and the dance associated with them, and she has continued teaching, forming the group Sandosham. There were 3 men and 18 women in that group that performed at the 2016 festival, most of them trained by her. She makes regular trips to Chennai to work with her teacher in Tinagar and to buy costumes for the group. She would love to do all Tamil songs, but she says that the festival goers really want Hindi, so their performance was a mix with 2 Tamil and 1 Hindi song. All right, so I'm going to play you just a little bit of theirs. So those 2 guys, Takeda and Shinji, I had heard of them before I ever went to Japan because they are the faces of superstar Rajinikanth's fan club in Japan, which has over 3,000 members in Tokyo alone. And they have traveled to TamilNadu regularly, becoming quite famous here. I don't know if any of you recognize them. They have also imported an auto rickshaw from India that they drive around Tokyo. I don't know, I'm gonna, I think, skip the videos there, but they're easy to, if you search Rajinikanth Fan Club Tokyo, you will find videos of these guys, dancing at their restaurant with their auto rickshaw, doing, scenes from Rajini's films. They're fabulous. So Bindu and Sandosham, through Mikan and Takeda and Shinji, have a lot of connections to India and are considered a very authentic dance group, though marginalized in Japan because their connections are South Indian. They get their costumes directly from India, and while Mikan does her own choreography, she has trained extensively both in Japan and in India with a teacher who works as a professional choreographer in a regional Indian film industry. So authenticity, as discussed earlier, can be read onto specific bodies. What am I getting? Is that? Okay. Kathleen Matsui leads the group Tahia, and she learned Bollywood dance by imitating the film dances she watched on television with her grandmother and cousins in Pakistan. So she's in the center there in the pink. She brings cultural authenticity of growing up in South Asia watching Bollywood films, but she's had 0 formal dance training in Indian styles. She learns the group Tahia, So her formal dance training is as a belly dancer, and she goes to Egypt every year to learn belly dance. And she's been teaching belly dance in Japan since 2004, but her students found out that she knew Bollywood and asked her to teach them. So in 2011, she started teaching Bollywood, and she performs at the Namaste India Festival. She does her own choreography, and she says, quote, "When I make the choreography, I don't use mudras because I did not learn a classical Indian style. I use my hands almost like belly dance, and I like to put some combination from the movies. Because when I was young, we enjoyed it very much when people would do the same steps of Bollywood, so I try to put the main steps from the movies, same like the movie, so the dancers who are dancing and those who are watching, if they know about the movie, will enjoy together." So she's dismissive of her own choreography as inauthentic because she doesn't use mudras or have classical training, but it's based on the films that she loves, and she grew up in a culture where those films were the most popular on television. She's fluent in Hindi, and she shares her love of Indian culture with her students, some of whom have now become fans of Bollywood film. So if authenticity is measured by the ability to win hearts and minds in true cultural diplomacy style, Matsui is creating the most effective emotional intercultural bonds for her students that I observed at the festival. And I'm going to give you 2 more pathways. This is the group Love Bollywood Tokyo. Yuho Saka, who's front and center there in the green, first got interested in Indian culture and dance when she saw the 2013 Bollywood film Goliyan Ki Ras Leela Ram Leela, starring Deepika Padukone and Ranveer Singh. And she says, "Before I didn't like dancing, but when I saw the Bollywood dancers, I feel like I want to dance. I don't have any background, but I feel like I want to dance because everyone is dancing together, smiling, and so much confident. So I organized Bollywood night for dancing on a weekend, and then 3 years ago I started to have a dance team." So I spoke with her, that was 2016, so 2013 she started her team, and I saw her in Tokyo last year, and she is going very strong. Now she's offering masala fitness workshops in addition to her classes. And then Fumimori, who's from the same group, started her journey towards authentic Bollywood dancing by surviving cancer. As part of her rehabilitation, she joined a yoga class in Japan and loved it so much she decided to go to India in 2010 and stay at an ashram and practice yoga. She says, I stayed at a yoga ashram. I never watched a movie on TV, but after I left the ashram, I traveled many places in India. And one day I stayed at a small hotel and there was a TV and I put it on and wow, it was the first time to watch Bollywood dance and I loved it. So when I came back to Japan, I went to the Indian Embassy, the Vivekananda Cultural Center, and I took a Bollywood dance class. And since then, she traveled to India regularly. She was just here in Chennai for the music festival. She gained her yoga teacher certification and developed a love for the film, clothing, and culture. And then the final person I'll discuss, just quickly, is Lika Taminaga, who is someone who tries to perform the dance as close to the film version as possible, right? So that, there's a lot of groups that do this, and it's not very valued, but it's certainly valid. So she's a belly dance teacher, and she started performing at the festival. She learns directly off of YouTube, but does source her costumes from India, and she's an excellent imitator. Her dances are very close to the original film dances and are easily recognizable and very popular with the audiences. So just to conclude, given that so few people are exchanged between Japan and India, it's remarkable that there's a dedicated population of amateur Japanese performers who have kept the Namaste India Festival active for more than 30 years. The stories of the dancers illuminate their own claims to authenticity as well as their fears of inauthenticity in relation to shifting criteria. I've argued here that their efforts reveal multiple pathways that end in multiple authenticities, each of which is valid and produces some degree of meaningful cultural exchange between Japanese and Indian people. I'll stop there. I hope that's related enough and helpful to you all, but I enjoyed sharing it with you, so thank you.
I would now like to call upon Mr. Prabhu Chawla sir to address the gathering.
Good morning, Chennai. Vanakkam. Namaste. Jai Shri Krishna. So this is diversity of India which I am reflecting here. We speak all sorts of languages. We believe in various faiths. So we have to follow that Indian culture, the Bharatiya culture. I'm a journalist of 45 years experience. Before that, I was a lecturer in Delhi University, taught economics. From economics to journalism is a big journey. For me, it was a big change. I'm addressing 600 students here, 500 students, most of them like my grandchildren. I've seen the evolution of media and the society as I have aged, but society has revolutionized, evolutionized, whatever you want to call it. As a journalist, today after 45 years when I'm asked to speak on the subject which is media and social responsibility, I can't figure out where do I start, how do I start, what does it mean? The subject is so wide. First, media. What is media? I don't know now, because when I started media, there were newspapers, there was one TV, Rudisill. And what is social responsibility? I don't know. How many social responsibility, so much diversity, so much multilingualism. And I was just listening to what Professor was presenting her presentation here to the visual, because the Department of Visual Media you have got here. I was thinking, it was a very good presentation, well done, well crafted, very good research has gone into it. But I was looking at one slide, which was Shah Rukh Khan with 6 abs, surrounded by 4 foreigners, and that slide was there for about 7 minutes. What social responsibility we were performing through that ab? I don't know. Is that part of media? Because I'm totally confused these days whenever I go to address anybody else, because the subjects are very interesting. Subjects are as old as the media is. But the content is nothing to do with media. It is all entertainment, political entertainment. Somebody used the word in somebody. When you're showing Shah Rukh Khan Taj Mahal, dancers, is that the job of the media now? I don't know. It's a visual content, the department is visual content you are talking about. When you ask me as a keynote speaker or chief guest to speak about media and social responsibility, I'm totally confused. Because our secretary, when he was speaking, I heard him, that this is an era in which media is not a tool, it is a force. I was listening to you use the word that we are not a tool, we are a force. I'll answer these questions by one. He raised those questions as a part of the social responsibility, as a part of my job as a responsible editor of a paper and a magazine for 30 years. I have to answer these questions to him now. Second question, responsible media is required now. That is what we have to be responsible, he says. Then he says, media should educate and not manipulate. These are very powerfully chosen words. That what does it mean? That we are educating or manipulating? I don't know. These are the answers I'll give. First I have to define what is media. For me, earlier media was conventional media, newspaper, and one television channel. Now I am dealing after 45 years with 5,000 newspapers and 800 news channels. Each one of them is run by some different political party or different corporate people or different kind of sects. Ramdev Baba also runs 5 channels. There are other Babas who are also running channels. They are also media. There are entertainment channels. So if you have got 900 news channels, another about 10 million YouTubers in this country. Each one of them, you saw that Ranveer controversy yesterday. He was facilitated by the Prime Minister, the kind of statement he made. That is also media, Ranveer. He has as many followers on Twitter as I have got. But he is a big hero. And now everybody is attacking him because he made some miscalculation, misstatement, which he should not have made. Because if you make some people, I've been in journalism for 45 years, Prime Minister doesn't meet me anymore. He used to meet me when he was Chief Minister. He was an old friend of mine. But he meets 26-year-old fellow or 30-year-old fellow because he knows how to make jokes. Is that the media? All of you are sitting here, I don't know what kind of media you are going to be in. Have you chosen the subject or its discipline in which you believe what you are going to do? My job as a journalist is just what I say, which I've used the word, my job is only to communicate. My job is only to inform and not incite, not ignite. My job is to enlighten. What is social responsibility for me? Because the problem with media these days is you have to choose between good economics and good social cause. What is social cause? There should not be riots in the country. There should not be any kind of a attack, murder, criminal rapes and whatever. What is good economics? But I have to produce a newspaper. The newspaper which I give you every morning for 4 rupees or 6 rupees, it costs me 20 rupees every day. If I start doing social responsibility, if I start printing something which is good news, nobody wants to read it. For example, you want to read it only on the phone. Phone has become the best medium of getting information. The conflict arises, our conflict is these days between media and social responsibilities, it's between economics and social welfare. Because if I have to survive as a media, I have to compromise. Like this Ranveer fellow wants to become the most popular, he's earning millions of rupees on YouTube or whatever. Is he giving an information making you enlightened? Anybody of you remembers any YouTuber that he has given you good information that will use for becoming your life better? You are better informed, you can handle the decision better. Infotainment, political attainment, whatever you want to call it. So first we have to be very clear that you are putting responsibility on the media that as if we are responsible for reforming the society. I'm sorry, we will not accept it. Responsibility of reforming the society lies on the shoulders of the political leader whom you elect, rightly or wrongly. Social responsibility lies on the people who are in the social service. Our job is to collect information, give it back to you as it is, without any distortion, without adding your own masala, your point of view to it. That is my responsibility as a journalist, but that definition has changed. Now I am competing with Shah Rukh Khan also as a communicator. I am competing with Ranveer also as a communicator. He is also a media person. People want to watch him more. The question is, are we preparing our next generation which is better informed, better equipped, better knowledge to handle the current situation in the country? Are we preparing only entertainers? They will laugh at the video, they look at the WhatsApp, they look at the YouTube, laugh it away. Wow, what fun he has created. Social responsibility is that I must, as a media person, give you the information which makes you better informed, which makes you to take better decisions, which makes you understand what is good, what is bad. I don't have to tell you. Problem arises because everybody blames media for everything, that as if we are responsible for changing the society. We have not created 45 political parties in the country. We are not creating anything which is dividing the people on the caste lines. We are not encouraging any rapes happening in the society. We are just reporting. And after reporting, what happens, that is in the hands of the rulers and the judiciary. How can you blame us? So what do you expect from media? I have to make money. My proprietor or owner, I must admit, no proprietor of a media house is in a missionary mode. It's not a mission. It is also a business. For some media houses like ours, profit is not the motive only. But there are many business houses where the profit is the motive. Now, government, for example, gives you 80% of the revenue now. How do I survive? If I write against the government, that government stop the advertisement. And you don't want to pay. Media has not been able to do its responsibility as a good journalist because people sitting in front of this hall are not willing to pay for the information they want to consume. Go to America, everybody has to for the TV channel. Indians who are staying there, for Indian channel, they pay $15 a month, $20 a month for one channel. Here, you are not willing to pay 15 rupees for one channel per month. You want to see everything free. What do? Indian media has been destroyed because people of India don't want to pay for the newspaper. They don't want to pay for the TV they want to see. Everything they want to get it free. This freebies in terms of whatever you call it, news information is also freebie, I call it. But question is, nature of information is changing. You don't want to read newspaper. I want to just ask, I ask everywhere, that how many of you read newspaper every day for news? Raise your hand, please. Behind, but hardly 10 people. That's the reflection. So what do you expect from us? When they don't want to read anything, why should I do the social responsibility? Then they will be divided account. How many of you watch TV for news? Little more than print. And the TV is what? Entertainment only. There's no news in TV these days. People are fighting, same panelists are sitting on the TV in the night, they're fighting against. You know what A person is going to say, what B is going to say, which anchor will say what will say, it is known. The job of the media has been changed by electronic media, not by print media. The visual media, which you're talking, department of visual media, which is your important thing, where the responsibility lies, what you want to say. You want to show Shah Rukh Khan with 6 abs, or you want to say a politician, corrupt politician making money on the side. Choose. Because Shah Rukh Khan gets more traction, more eyeballs than any good educationist sitting in this hall. That's the problem. I used to do a show Seedhi Baat, which is this is one of the shows at that time, most popular show, because that was the only show happening at that time. I did a talk show with Nandan Nilekani, the famous person, you know it. His TRP was only 2,000. People watched it. And I did a show with who? Rakhi Sawant. She was watched by 1 million people. Is Rakhi Sawant more important than Nandan Nilekani? That's the taste of the people. So what is my social responsibility? Show a person who has done good thing for the country, or show a woman whose job is to entertain all of us in a different style. That's all. So what is the social responsibility? I have interviewed Shah Rukh Khan 5 times, 6 times. My job is when, for example, I am doing as a journalist, people ask me, as a TV journalist, I became famous because I did Seedhi Baat. I was an India Today journalist, editor for 25 years. I wrote so many stories. One of the stories which you wrote, Indra Kumar Gujral, who was the Prime Minister, he had to resign on the basis of story which we wrote in India Today. I carried the story. I was the editor of Indian Express earlier in 91-92. We wrote a story about Madhav Singh Solanki, who was the Foreign Minister of India. I went to Davos with Narasimha Rao, came back with documents, wrote about the story, he had to resign. Now if you write a story in the newspaper or a TV channel, not even a peon resigns. Forget about the Prime Minister then. It doesn't make a difference. That's the credibility of media. That's the support we get it. Social responsibility definition is defined. You attack an industrialist. Every media today, 90% of Indian media is now owned by corporate sector. You have Ambani, who own the entire TV 18 network. You have Adani, who owns NDTV and whatever. There are very few media houses left which are not owned by industrialists. Social responsibility defined is very difficult to define. I have addressed on the same subject during the last 10 years at least 50 times. Social responsibility, this word is coming out of my ears. Nobody defines. Looking at the paper, this is a beautiful exercise. I think whoever produced it is very good research paper is done. I congratulate the college principal and whoever done it. They are very interesting articles, but they're academic articles. I don't know if this kind of ideas need that kind of thing or not. But I was reading something here. It talks about role of politainment in shaping political engagement among first voters, a qualitative study. Interesting. I have first time read this word, political attainment, whatever you, political attainment. It says, the study examined the impact of political memes, trolls, viral content on electoral outcomes and democratic engagement through qualitative focus group discussions. If politics is becoming entertainment, those who are supposed to change the society, those who talk about will make India great, will TamilNadu great, will make Karnataka great, everybody is talking about that. If they are creating entertainment, what will the media do? There's young boys and girls sitting here who want to become future journalists. You have to define first, again coming back to what is the media and what is social responsibility. Now different kind of media is there. I told you, you have YouTube, but you're talking about whom? I've got it here. Visual media you have got here, this is your department. You have YouTube. How many billions of YouTube? You have got TikTok. You got Facebook. You got podcast. You got many other ways of communicating with people. Which media you are talking about? Visual media, even which media you are talking. TikTok is a different kind of people. People are sitting in front of, standing in front of the train, trying to shoot to get the reel, and after some of them die. That's a different issue. That's also media. There are people who are getting TikTok views because they want to be. This is a source of income as well. Young boys and girls are now driven towards TikTok making reels because they get money out of it. Some of the journalists I know who could not find job in India today or any other newspaper or sacked from there, they are making more money through these YouTubes than they were making as a journalist. But because there is a market for that. The demand for that kind of a content. Filthier the content is on visual media, the more money it gets for you. The competition is not for healthy journalism, healthy information, but the filthiest, ugliest journalism happening in this country. I call it journalism because giving information is journalism, is the core definition of journalism. If you are giving wild podcast, like the person he did it, you are producing filthy YouTube, you get maximum. That's what the Western media influence technology is doing to us, to all over the world. Social responsibility finishes because it's now the Zuckerberg type who was controlling the media, and they are the people who are deciding what content you will see, what content you will write. If they don't like algorithm, for example, there is an article here on algorithm also. If you write a good article, if Google decides, okay, Prabhu Chawla article will not be circulated, it will not be circulated. Where will the media responsibility is? Outside people are going to control the rest of the world what kind of information, or Elon Musk is going to control what is going to be given there. I am talking about because you will not get information which you want to read. You will see only filthy product. For them, you are a market. You are not a citizen of a good country where you have to be informed better things also. How many TikTok reels you see which gives you information? All the film stars give their choti shadi ki clips. Look at the Mani Shadi clip, which got billions of things. The person who got the rights to distribute must have made more money than the money spent on the wedding. Is that the information? So when Zuckerberg, Google fellow, this fellow decides what is going to be seen, I have seen it here. I have done the study on social media. Your article is published, they will not show you the article because they want to show a particular kind of artificial intelligence. People are talking about it. Everybody is going gaga over here. Interesting. Is biological intelligence inferior than artificial intelligence? Were you born without a mind? Artificial intelligence can be a tool, yes. But it can't dictate you. This is one, I am very extremist there, you may not like it. Artificial intelligence is a tool developed to just dehumanize the society. There should not be human contact. I am dealing with a faceless person. I can talk to you as a journalist sitting here, understand your physical understanding, what kind of person you are, what kind of behavior. What will your artificial intelligence give you? If you study that thing, artificial intelligence I have done, I want to give you some examples. What kind of content they create for you. They will create a content which is available on the website. They can't create anything else. I asked them first, when the TV chat started, I asked the question, who started the Seedhi Baat show? Who started it? They said VP Singh, who was the Prime Minister of India. Because I did Seedhi Baat with him, somebody must have punched sitting somewhere. I said, no, it's not Seedhi. Then they gave some other name. He said, sir, we're sorry we can't give you information because we don't have any information before 2014. So whatever is garbage into the computer, that garbage comes out of it. Computer language is garbage in, garbage out. Whatever information they have fed into the system, artificial intelligence will pick up that information. On the basis of that information, they will give you the analysis. I asked about something about, yesterday was an article I was writing for the newspaper. I was talking about what's the impact of artificial intelligence on it. I was asking about what's the intelligence of Trump policies. Very tailored, dry, neither here nor there. And they say, reference 15 web pages, and they were the same, Washington Post, New York Times, and they lifted from there and analyzed their own self. Somebody is using the mind and giving you the information. So where is the social responsibility here? When I don't have control on what I want to tell you, I lose the purpose. I lose the motive. So artificial intelligence, since word itself is artificial, why should I trust it? The person who is selling it, and our Prime Minister, our Chief Minister, everybody, Mr. Naidu, selling every day artificial intelligence. I said, why you are becoming artificial in your life? You are artificial as a politician, I know. But you are becoming artificial as a human being also. Use artificial as one of the computer like you have got it. Yes. The kind of memes they produce, the kind of information they give you, it is based on the kind of people they have recruited, because ultimately machines are being operated by the human beings. And what is the nature of those human beings? That will depend what you are getting. The media responsibility can even now, it was yesterday, it is today, it will be tomorrow. Responsibility is to inform, and inform. It is not my responsibility that I have to have the social welfare in mind. Because information which I give should be such that it must tell the people what is good, what is bad, without me telling them. Let the opinion be drawn on them. My voting intentions should not reflect in my writing or in my views. That is what is happening in the channel. You know which anchor is going to say what. You know everybody. There are 4 anchors, you know, these people are going to support a particular party. They will not allow anybody else to speak. It never happened. When I did my CDBA show, my producer asked me, sir, who is your guest? I say, my dear producer, who is a very famous person now, Uday Shankar, you must be knowing, he runs on Disney World and he is one of the, he was a producer. But he was a brain, very sharp brain. He said, sir, aapka guest kaun? Who is your guest? I said, sorry, I am a TV host. I have no guest, I have only target. I have to get information out of it. And tell my viewers, this is the person looks like this. You have to introduce Shah Rukh Khan, so I must get the worst or best part of Shah Rukh Khan, which people don't know. That is job. Because Shah Rukh Khan influenced the society very much, and people must know what kind of personality is he. Then in contrast, Amitabh Bachchan. I am the only journalist in India who was interviewed Jayalalitha here in Hindi. If you go on YouTube channel, you will find Hindi interview with Jayalalitha. She spoke to me in Hindi. And it was news for others that she speaks very better Hindi than the Hindi walas do. That is information. You have an impression about the rulers. The media starts because you have to depend on your sources first, what you want to do. Now look at it, how much civic humanities are bad in this country. Do we ever write about civic humanities? No. I was in Indian Express 91, 92 in Delhi, editor when it was same edition, Delhi and Chennai. Every day there is a problem in Delhi. What is the road problem? What is the electricity problem? For example, you widen the road, you put electricity pole right in the middle of the road, but don't remove it. In 1 year, we got about 900 poles removed from the middle of the road by writing every day. That is social responsibility. But we didn't say they didn't remove, we just put a picture of the road and the traffic jam. Nothing else. In Delhi University colleges, most of the teachers didn't go to the colleges. They were bunking classes. I sent 4 reporters to 4 colleges every day, go on the timetable, see the name of the teacher, go to the class, find the teacher is there or not. I used to print the names of the teachers. These were the teachers who were not on leave but did not go to the colleges. And one day I found 10 women lecturer of Delhi University sitting in front of my office in Delhi, Indian Express office. My secretary asked me, they have come to see me. Who were they? They were from the college. I'm giving this example. All the three women, three of them married, they started crying. I said, what happened? He said, you had written our name, we didn't go to the college, we had gone to see our friends and whatever. You are forcing divorce on us. Our husbands say, where were you? I say, why didn't you take the leave? I've given an example, the impact, the society you are talking about, social responsibility. My social responsibility to inform that colleges are there. There are teachers not going to the college. These are the teachers. Principal doesn't have the leave application. I wrote the name, class, and full stop. And after that, attendance of teachers in those colleges went up by 50%. So this is what has happened. You have to define what is social responsibility. If our rivers are bad today, it is because of what? We don't write about it. Earlier we used to write about it. We have forgotten. Social responsibility, which is social, which is good for the society as a whole. I am writing more about Shah Rukh Khan or Amitabh Bachchan and Ranveer, and writing less about what is happening in the city of Chennai. I am forgetting my responsibility. So when I am looking at these papers, because these people are talking about modern things, there is another subject which they have handled, which is very good again. It talks about the erosion of free expression under political media ownership. It is by Dr. Vasanth. She is here, I think. Very good topic. At least she has understood what is happening. If this is, you are talking about erosion of free expression under political media ownership, where is the social responsibility of mine? Once the owner becomes the political leader, I lose my freedom to express myself. So we have to write about these things, discuss about these things. Media is not an NGO, I accept that. It should not be an NGO, non-governmental organization, which is working for the social cause. Even the US ID has stopped giving aid to them now. There won't be many NGOs working anymore. So this is a very good subject. She is talking about political ownership influences editorial decisions, narrative framing, and public perception. So my role is over. So look at these subjects which they dealt with. The other subject they have dealt with, driven content, AI-driven content, moderation and inspector media diversity. This is the most dangerous thing going to happen in this country, where the AI will decide what meme you want to see, how they want to interpret, how you want to use it. Our Prime Minister yesterday warned about it because there is something wrong about him, also published somewhere through AI. The point I am to make, you as a journalist, all of you are from journalism. Basic question which will remain for media, alphabet Q. It's a fight between Q and W. What is Q? Question. My social responsibility is when I start questioning the power. Media is forgetting the question word that I have to question. They say only what? Q has been spelled by yes. Minister says anything? Yes, sir. Bureaucrat says anything? Yes, sir. Q has become yes, and Q is fighting with W. Earlier, W was what in media, now it has become wealth. That how will the money come? Is it Q versus wealth? Q versus yes. Media social responsibility to me is that I must maintain my basic principle of asking question again and again. I should not accept what is given to me served on a plate or sent to me on WhatsApp. This is what the story is. You publish it without questioning from anybody else. So W's are becoming more important. For me, media is what is happening, why is happening, where it is happening, and what does it mean. Next, The 4 W's are important for media, for social responsibility: what, where, why, and what next. If you get these 4 answers right, you have done your social responsibility. You are the media, you are the communicator. If you start repeating yes, 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 why, the media is over, social responsibility over. So all of you, I will advise, remember 4 words. Q first, 4 W's, and you will do the social responsibility. Thank you very much.
I would now like to call our faculty, Mr. Arvindji, to give away the vote of thanks.
It is both privilege and honor to stand before you today for proposing the vote of thanks as we are bringing close of this first inaugural session. I extend my gratitude to our esteemed chief guests, one, Mr. Prabhu Chawla, sir, and Dr. Kristin, madam, for having readily accepted our invitation and being with us and sharing their expertise and the invaluable knowledge which we will be carrying forward for the upcoming sessions. I'd like to thank our college secretary, Sri Ashok Mundhra ji, and our principal in charge, Dr. Seshadrinathan sir, for having gracing this occasion. I'd like to thank our organizing team for the effective conduct of this event. I thank you once again present here. Jai Sri Krishna.